So, anywho, I was just chilling. Um, I like my gown. I love it. I have three of them because I love them so much. They're just positive words and, you know, whatever. But I did put my hat back on because, honey, I didn't do my hair. I've been in the house all day. I wanted to go out, but I didn't want to really bother nobody to catch a ride, so it was what it was. It was what it was. But I was laying here fiending for some chips. Even though I have snacks at my house, I just didn't have the kind of chips that I wanted, so luckily my mom was on her way from work and I asked her to bring me some Doritos and lemon hot. So I am going to eat them, and when I finish snacking, I will come back with another video for you guys. It's a about me video, so I'll tell you, pretty much about me, what I'm going through, my whole journey with getting a heart, or trying to get a heart. I'm not gonna say try. I am gonna get a heart because it is the Lord's will. So, yeah, let me go ahead and enjoy my little snack. All right, you guys. So I want to make a video about me. About me. I would say, okay, on May 28, 2014 is when I had a heart attack. That was Memorial Day that year. Earlier that day I had been barbecuing. I had also been complaining to my then husband that my arm and jaw and chest was in pain. He suggested I take a nap. Woke up from my nap, I was still in pain, and I was just thinking and saying, I think I'm having a heart attack. I need to go to the hospital. So he wound up taking me to Ingalls Urgent Aid. They transported me to Ingalls Hospital, where they ran some tests first. They did the troponin test, which is a testing of your heart levels to see if you had a heart attack or not. Those came back extremely high. They did an EKG, and they were saying that I was having a massive heart attack. So they transported me to Ingalls Hospital. Got there, they did more testing or whatever. I was in ICU. My family came the next morning. Well, that night I had called my mom and told I was in the hospital, that I had a heart attack, and she was kind of like, no, you didn't, or whatever. So next morning I was in ICU. They came. The doctors explained to my family, which were the people that came: my then husband, my mom, my grandmother, my sister, my brother, and my other brother, Dwayne. They told them what was going on, the severity of the heart attack, which broke my family down, like broke them down. At that time, we found out that my heart was only functioning at 15%. So, yeah. But the person who was most affected by, who was most visibly affected by me being sick was my brother, my little brother. He's in the video as well. I love him. We call him Man, but his name is Kenneth. What's Man? He was visibly upset, shaking, or whatever, but he didn't break down in front of me. But when my mom told me he broke down, him and my sister All I could think was, I don't want any of you to be upset. I don't want any of you to break down, you know, because whatever the Lord's will is, it's going to be. If it's meant for me to stay here another 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 30, 40, whatever, I'm going to be here. But if it's not, that's the Lord's will. And besides, I want him to focus on his family and his career, because at that time his wife had been sick. Um, so that was that. I was in ICU for about a week and a half after I got discharged from Ingalls Hospital. Excuse me. Um, then I went to VA Hines. I went there. They did their testing. They saw that my heart was like severely damaged. Their testing came back that my heart was only functioning at 10%. So that was that. They determined that I needed a defibrillator and a pacemaker, which is called an ICD. So I stayed in the hospital for like 6 weeks. They did the ICD about 4 days later, because when I came in, it was when I went, I don't know, but it was like around the 4th of July, because I remember watching the fireworks out my window. Anywho, after I got my ICD, everything was okay. And then for about maybe a good I would say between 3 and 5 months, everything was okay. And then the next thing you know, I just was going in the hospital, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, every month. And every time I was in the hospital, it was a week and a half to 2.5 weeks stay. That went on until April of 2016, but November of 2015, around the 20th, I had got really, really sick. So I wound up going to the hospital, and the next thing I know, I wake up and it's Thanksgiving. So I'm like, what happened? You know, I missed some days. So then went back to sleep, woke back up, and it was like 8 days later. It was like really weird. So they was telling me I was hooked up to all these machines and IVs, and they were saying that I was fighting for my life. You know, I could have slipped away or whatever. So I'm just like, what? I just thought I was asleep. You know, I'm asking my mother, I'm like, Mom, what did they give me? And she's like, what do you mean, what did they give you? I'm like, what did they give me to make me sleep so good? She's like, girl, that was death sleep. That was death. So that was funny, but yeah. And that hospital stay was extremely emotional for me. I had some really foul, dirty, and low down things that happened to me during that hospital stay. I didn't have a good year of 2016. The end of 2015, it was just a mess. It was really rough. But anywho, and then everything wasn't okay, but it was what it was. So I wound up getting on the IV medication, Milrinone. Milrinone was pumping like a part of my heart. Um, so that was okay and whatever. But they were saying that this wasn't a long-term thing. That my only option was to get a heart transplant. So I'm going back and forth to the doctor. I'm suddenly asking, where am I on the list? What do we have to do to get me on the list? So they're just giving me the runaround. Oh, yeah, you have to do this. You have to do this workup, this workup, this workup. I'm like, okay. But they wasn't scheduling me for a lot of the testing that they were saying that they needed. So I talked to my heart doctor and I was cardiologist, and I was explaining to him what was happening, and he was like, yeah, I got you, I'm gonna do this, kind of found out he was a part of the conspiracy. So when I was, really sick, they wound up sending me to Loyola, and the doctors at Loyola, they were good, but they basically told me, just accept that you're going to die, that you have about this long, and that's going to be that. So we just prefer that you enjoy yourself, enjoy your life, enjoy your children, your family, whatever it is that you like to do. So I had to literally curse one of the doctors out. So after me and this doctor exchanged words, they didn't like that, so they sent me back to VA. Um, so at VA, they was just saying that I should be on palliative care, which is basically hospice. It's just a much nicer word. And I was telling them, like, no, I don't want to be on palliative care. No, who says I'm giving up? I'm not going to die. Like, I'm not going to let man have authority over me or power over my life. God didn't say that it's time for me to die. So I'm not going to lay down my life. I'm not going to prepare to die. Like, no, I'm not giving up. God has the last say so. And I don't feel like I'm going to die. So that was that. We had a family meeting, and my family was like backing me up, like, she's not going on palliative care, blah, blah, blah. And if you guys don't like it, we could just take her to another hospital, whatever. So the summer of 2016, yeah, that's when I started doing my, going to Northwestern, trying to get my workup for transplant. And during that time, I had got really, really sick. My IV kept coming out to my medication, Milrinone. So that was like so weird, so crazy that it kept coming out. They kept trying to put it back in. It kept coming out. It came out like 5 times. So the next thing I know, in December of 2017, I had gotten so sick, like really sick. My body was look at this. But my body was sepsis. My sugar, my sugar had gotten really low. It was a lot. I had passed out, so I had to get rushed to the hospital. I just remember waking up in parks